I'm going to go over my 4-tier winter glove system, starting with these. These are actually arthritis compression gloves. But what you don't want in winter is you don't want compression. So I actually ordered these a size bigger than would fit me so that they wouldn't actually compress. So these are sort of tier 1. I wanted my fingers free to do things that required dexterity. But I wanted that as much covered as possible. So I got the 3/4 length gloves, so they go all the way up to essentially the last knuckle on most of these. These ones have this like grip thing, which I like. You can see I got this real dirty when I was breaking up some wood for a fire here. But these don't add much warmth, but they add a little. If you're highly active, you might be good with just these. The main point of them though is wicking. So the key factor when looking for these was that they were wicking. So I wanted to make sure that any sweat that generated was removed away from directly to the skin. So that's the first tier of my winter glove system. All right, for the next tier, we've got these Hestra convertible mittens, and these are really the core of the setup here. So on an earlier iteration, I had a glove that was it was gloves here, and I could take it off if I needed more dexterity, but the problem was it got cold, and I really wanted the access to my fingertips to be able to be doing activities that required that level of dexterity. So these are really cool gloves here. So they've got these. This helps you pull them off at the end, but most importantly, you can get your fingers out whenever you need. So let me put this on and just sort of show you here. So this I use as a base layer. I keep it on underneath when I put this on. So you pull this on and you can have your fingers out here. Sometimes these get pulled down a little bit, so sometimes I pull them out like this. But you have the ability to pull all these back and get essentially full dexterity right here. If your hands are cold, you can always tuck them in here. And the one thing I really like about this is this little trick here. Hand warmers. So you can tuck your hand warmers back in here, and then whenever you're really cold, make sure you put your fingers in there and you can keep them warm and warm them up quickly. You can get them out, do something that requires dexterity without too much trouble, and then tuck them back in. The other thing I like about these Hestra gloves is you can see it's worn in a little bit there, but there's a magnet here. There's something metal here, or a magnet here, or vice versa. I'm not sure which one's the magnet, but when you fold it back, they stick. Now, once you have a hand warmer in there and get some momentum, it can flip off pretty easily. But if you're not doing too crazy, you can see it stays pretty good with the normal motions of, say, walking with a hiking pole. Then when you want to take them off, again, I love these things here. They make it easy. You just pull them right up and off like that. All right, my next level up here is by Enlightened Equipment. This is purely a warmth layer. So this layer can go on top of what I already have if I just need additional warmth. So let's say it's really cold and I'm just hanging out at camp. I got the hand warmers in and maybe that's not enough. I can literally just shove this all right in here and have an additional layer of warmth. So I've got now 3 layers here with this warming layer on top. And that's going to keep you warm in a lot of conditions. It's not a hard outer shell. We'll get to that in a second. Also, I just use these at night when I'm sleeping because these are nice and loose. I did buy them a little bit bigger so I could fit the other gloves underneath inside. But this will be great for sleeping because it keeps you loose. Often I just put my hands in here and don't even put the thumb in. I just use them like covers for my hands when I'm sleeping, but super warm. I love these Enlightened Equipment synthetic insulated things. I've got a bunch of other things from them as well, the booties, the quilt, etc. But I love their gear. It's so warm, and it's very good at getting the moisture away. So it'll get warm in here, but the moisture will pass through. All right, and then my final tier, the fourth and outer tier, is this hard shell. So this is an overmitt that is waterproof. So this goes on top. So let's say I'm wearing these, but it's ugly out there and I want to keep my hands super dry. So let's say it's like 33, freezing, almost freezing, but raining. and I want to keep these nice and dry, I will just put them inside here like this. These are big, so there's still room in there, but if I need warmth too, let's say there's a lot of wind and I'm really losing heat, you know, I can still put the third warmth layer in. So I've got my Enlightened equipment mitts here, synthetic fill. And then those fit inside here as well. No problem at all. My hands are not compressed, so I bought this a bigger size as well, so that each layer can fit the layers below. And this doesn't give me obviously much dexterity here, but if it's really cold, you know, this is going to keep me super warm, especially if I have that hand warmer in the convertible mitts at the second layer. I mentioned before that I use this when I use the Enlightened equipment ones when I sleep. Often I just leave this on the outside, just because simply I usually store it with one inside the other. And you know, it's just another layer to keep you warm at night. But this 4-tier system here, with our hard outer layer, our heavy warmth layer, our medium warmth layer, plus a high degree of utility in terms of being able to get your fingers out, and then a very light layer underneath that doesn't provide much warmth but wicks it away. You know, that completes the 4-tier system of my winter gloves.